I am Shawn Roberts, and I am the director of Seattle Theater Group AileyCamp and Seattle Theater Group Dance for Parkinson's and Dance with Life. So I grew up here in central Seattle in 1963, and my father, he worked on and off in the shipyard. My mom was a visual artist. She was a painter and a sculptor. We lived in the Madison Valley, and at the time, Madison Valley was very, very different than it is now. It was a mostly Black neighborhood, except for my mom. And in the 60s, it was very interesting because my parents, my father is Black, my mom is white, and it was a bit crazy with the two of them being married at that time, at the height of the civil rights movement. We were pretty poor, even though my father, he worked at the shipyard. It was very much on and off. And I went to Dunlap Elementary, I went to Wing Luke Elementary, I went to South Shore Middle School, and then I graduated high school from Rainier Beach. And why I say all this is because what's interesting is that now, as the AileyCamp director, many of our kids, we go to do the presentations in the schools at the elementaries for the 5th and 6th graders and at South Shore Middle School. So there is this full circle thing happening there, and it's just a blessing to be at those schools and know that I went there. We grew up dancing. That was, as far back as I can remember, we were always dancing in the home. We were always dancing with our friends. My cousin and my sister, they were in the Imperials Drum and Bugle Corps, and they were in the color guard. I mean, I was just waiting to be 12. I was waiting to be 12, waiting to be 12, so I could do that too, because it just looked so cool. And, we would do halftime shows at the Kingdom. At the Kingdom for the Seahawks and the Mariners, and at the Coliseum for the Sonics. Then I started studying at studios, but my home studio was Spectrum Dance Theater. I studied there, I studied there since I was 19 years old, and then I started teaching there. And Mr. world-renowned Donald Byrd came in, then he appointed me education outreach director. And then a year later, the board and Donald appointed me education outreach director and school director. So I was wearing 2 hats. When I was there, Donald and I built the academy, which is the pre-professional division of Spectrum, which is still going strong these days. When I retired from Spectrum after 19 years, I came to Seattle Theater Group to just run, to build the Dance for Parkinson's program. And at that time, they were looking at the possibility of launching AileyCamp. They turned around and asked me if I would also be the director of AileyCamp. So that brought me to being the director of AileyCamp and the director of Dance for PD. And then Dance with Life was a spinoff of Dance for PD that goes into the nursing homes and assisted living. So in terms of music, India Ari is my favorite singer-songwriter. I love her. In terms of visual artists, Theaster Gates is an amazing artist. And, dance, there's Ailey, there's Complexions, Dance Theater of Harlem, Savion Glover. In terms of theater, any play by August Wilson. Study your art daily, take risks, and go for things that you're afraid to do. Trust yourself and know that you can do it. If it's dance, study varied styles of dance. because what that does is that style that you are drawn to, it's going to make that richer. And it's also when you have all of that, those varied styles in your body, it makes you more marketable. I'm a certified life coach. So I, have clients, and I am always doing my own work in terms of building who I am and healing who I am, so that I can, support other people in their healing and their growing. I love cooking. I love cooking for my family specifically. I love spending time with my husband and my family. Like our weekends it's all about family, all about family. Even my 32-year-old African gray parrot, Charlie. The first thing that comes to mind is for each of us to know at our deepest level that we are unique human beings. We come into this world with our uniqueness and our gifts and talents. And for us to figure out what those talents and gifts are, if you don't know already, and share those with the world, because it is imperative that each of us find out why we're here and that we share those gifts.